Oh.
Yeah, so
So you're expecting one thing, and surprise, it is another.
surprise! It's like Mitch is not the culprit in this game. It was a total twist for everybody who, I guess, played the first one.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it makes the game not boring for people who have played it before and who already know the ending.
But I think I'll go back to Final Fantasy VI, as I mentioned earlier on the podcast, was the new things they added. They added not a fast forward. They added a run button or something like that.
Really? Which defeats the
So
purpose of the sprint shoes.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, I think some people were happy with that feature.
Yeah.
But the other things they added were basically like 2 bonus dungeons, which I was not pleased with because one of them was just, let's fight 100 battles in a row.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that's just a lazy dungeon. That is just a lazy dungeon. It's like, sure, it tests your endurance, but I mean, it's like, let's program as little as we can.
Yeah.
Plus, it kind of destroys the plot line because at the end of the game, Terra falls off the ship and dies or something like that.
Really?
What happens at the end of the game? They leave it open as to what happened with Terra, right? Because she's flying in her Esper form, and they're saying, oh no, now that Kefka's dead, magic is gone, and the Espers all have to die.
Really? I don't remember that part.
Well, how did Final Fantasy III end in the SNES version?
I don't remember that happening, at least. I thought she was, like, flying around in the credits.
She was flying around in the credits.
Yeah, that's right, because the credits go and show you, like, what everybody's doing afterwards, right?
I thought the credits show them all escaping from Kefka's tower as it disappears. And then we don't actually see them escape. I'm not sure.
I don't know, I don't even remember.
But I distinctly remember there's something strange that happens to her at the credits. So it's sort of like left open. It's like, well, did she live or did she die? And that really upset me. Because they didn't resolve that plot line, and then now that we have a bonus dungeon, she's suddenly alive again for the bonus dungeon.
Oh.
It seemed unfair. It's like, that's a cheap cop-out. Oh, well.
Well, it just answers the question left open by the original ending.
I guess she's not dead. She goes back to the orphanage and helps those kids.
Duh.
I don't think she should have died. It didn't make any sense to me.
Yes. So moving along. Board Mario Retro.
Moving on, we think remakes are good when they actually give you a reason for existing.
Yes, I agree. When you actually get something different out of remakes, unlike the vast majority of remakes.
Yeah, I think Paul would disagree because he likes the Monkey Island remakes, but forget him.
Yes.
Because that remake is this is the same old game with new graphics, and now it's voice acting.
Oh, voice acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, voice acting starring what's-his-face, who's the voice of Guy Rush, Threepwood, Dominic something. Next topic. So, bored with Mario. I would disagree with the statement that I'm bored with Mario because I generally don't play games outside of, say, the main Mario series.
Mario Tennis?
So it's like Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario
Paint.
Soccer, Mario Paint, Mario Bocce Ball. He's running out of sports.
Yes. Mario Money Printer.
Mm-hmm. So I basically don't play those ones. So really, if you just follow the main series, it's Super Mario. What is it? Super Mario 64, then Super Mario Sunshine like 5 years later, then Super Mario Galaxy another 5 years later.
Super Mario Galaxy 2.
2 years later. 2.5 years later because they delayed it 6 months for Pokemon. They didn't want a Mario game and a Pokemon game coming out at the same time.
Wow. I don't know, I've made this comment before that I sort of feel like Mario games, although this can be said about most extended franchises, is that they don't really have a lot to do with each other. So like, if you just made random platformer and you replaced all references to Mario with some new character, it wouldn't be as popular as the Mario game, because I think that just being a Mario game is what makes it sell, and that people think it's amazing, but if it wasn't called Mario, that it wouldn't be as popular as it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, have you heard about, say, Kirby's Epic Yarn, where it was a random game starring a brand new character, and they thought it wouldn't sell, so they made it a Kirby game?
Yes, I remember you guys talking about that in previous podcasts.
And they did the same thing with the new Kid Icarus game.
Really?
It wasn't supposed to be Kid Icarus. It's just a flying game, and they're like, hey, let's make this Kid Icarus, then it's going to sell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might have a point. I'm not entirely sure with... Yeah, you could be right.
Well, like, at the same time, though...
I'm thinking of Mario, though, because Super Mario Sunshine was just bad. And I think even though it was a Mario game, so it got good reviews, I think we still got the idea that nobody really liked this game very much.
Really? That was one that I never played.
Well, there's a good reason for you not playing that one.
Yeah, because I didn't own a GameCube.
Yeah. Oh, now I can't ask you what Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube was like, because I didn't play that one either.
Oh.
And it's like, Luigi's Mansion 2, yay? Am I excited about this or not?
Hooray!
Another Mario game without Mario in it.
Retro Game Challenge for the DS. How awesome is it?
I haven't played it. I've never heard of this.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Next topic.
Is it a game or is it a challenge?
Wikipedia.
The most comfortable game controller. Oh yeah, you can look it up on Wikipedia. I'll talk about game controllers. I kind of agree that the GameCube game controller is very comfortable.
Never owned a GameCube.
They sort of designed the controller. I remember before the GameCube came out and I was following the news stories on the controller, and originally it had like two places for you to rest your hands.
Right.
And you're thinking, okay, the outside ones will be for Americans who have big hands, and the inside ones will be for Japanese people who have smaller hands. And they got rid of that, obviously, but
Interesting.
they really put a lot of thought into it, whereas I think some of the other controllers are more like, we need 8 buttons, so let's just put them wherever. Put them in a square, because that worked for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just make our controller a rectangle. Thank you, NES.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is strange to go from, like, the PlayStation controller to the NES.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels strange.
So generally, that's what I do is, like, if I'm going to play games on one system, I won't, like, switch back and forth between systems. I'll just play a bunch of GameCube games for a while.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the controller just feels strange.
I'm looking up Retro Game Challenge here, and it looks like, let's see. Nintendo DS game, blah, 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 Namco Bandai.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it has a bunch of games that I've never heard of. Cosmic Gate, Robot Ninja Haggleman, Rally King Star Prince, Robot Ninja Haggleman 2, Rally King SP, Guadia Quest, Robot Ninja Haggleman 3.
Robot Ninja Haggleman 3?
Yes, Robot Ninja Haggleman 3.
Oh, Haggleman.
Haggle.
I thought you said Haggleman.
No, Haggle.
Sorry.
Like haggling,
Yeah.
I guess. I've never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Burger Time.
time.
Namco needs to create something to put themselves back on the map.
Yeah.
I've been feeling that for a while, but I think I'm just sort of upset because they totally blew me off when I sent them my resume.
Yeah.
I wrote about that in the GameCola blog post where it's like, hey, it's like I went to this conference and Namco Bandai was there and I was so excited, but they totally ignored me and were mean to me. I don't like that lady who was running the booth.
Huh?
Oh, well. So I said, forget you guys. You don't have any good games anyway.
Well,
So I think I came out the victor.
considering a Retro Game Challenge, it kind of sounds that way.
Mm-hmm.
So next topic. Wait, we already...
They actually did one of those. I think they also did one of those for, like, the PlayStation 2, which is kind of stupid, which is not a remake or a re-release. It's just we're packaging some old NES games together.
Yeah, well, it does say that there was a sequel, and that it had Whizman, Demon Returns, Super Kung Fu Fighting, Detective Kacho Parts 1 and 2, Gaudia Quest Saga, Gun Duel, Super Demon Returns, Triodos, Cosmic Gate, Massa X version, Rally King X, Star Prince SA, Super Robot Ninja Haggleman Kome version, Triodos DX, and Training Game.
We need to get Jeff Day, author of Game Era Obscura, on the podcast to tell us what these games are.
Yes,
If he plays obscure games, he would know.
immediately.